All right, today we're diving into a book that has genuinely changed the game for millions of people, Atomic Habits by James Clear. Now, this isn't about massive, life-altering upheavals. Nope. It's a framework built on the idea that tiny, almost invisible changes can lead to absolutely remarkable results. And to really get it, we have to start with a story. See, to understand this whole system, we don't start with a habit. We have to start with a catastrophe. James Clear's entire philosophy, everything we're about to talk about, was forged in one single, terrifying moment. So picture this, a high school baseball game. A bat slips, flies through the air, and hits a young James Clear directly in the face. The injuries were honestly horrific. A shattered nose, multiple fractures, brain swelling so severe he had to be put in a medically induced coma. And his recovery? It was anything but fast. It was a slow, grueling process of relearning the most basic things, like just walking in a straight line. And it was right there, in that struggle, that he accidentally discovered the incredible power of these tiny, what he now calls atomic habits. And that whole experience led him to this one central, kind of mind-bending idea. It completely flips what we're all taught about success. He says, look, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. It's not about wanting it more, it's about building a better process. So that brings us to the first huge insight of Atomic Habits. The real engine for progress isn't the finish line you're sprinting towards. It's the daily, repeatable process that you follow to get there. So what's so wrong with being goal-obsessed? Well, Clear points out a few major problems. First off, think about it. Winners and losers in any field, they usually have the exact same goals. So the goal itself can't be what makes the difference. Plus, goals create this if-then happiness trap. I'll be happy when I reach this goal. But then what happens after you do? The motivation just evaporates. And this table just lays it out perfectly. A goal is the result you want. A system is the process that leads to those results. When you focus on the system, you start finding satisfaction in just showing up and doing the work. And that is what creates real, sustained, compounding growth over time. Okay, so focusing on systems makes a ton of sense. And that idea flows right into the next big concept. Because if the process is more important than the outcome, then the deepest, most lasting change isn't about what you do, it's about who you believe you are. Claire breaks this down into 3 layers. Now, most of us try to change from the outside in. We start with the outcome we want, right? I want to lose 20 pounds. But that's backwards. True, lasting change actually happens from the inside out. It starts with your identity. It starts with deciding, I am the type of person who is active and healthy. Once you believe that, the behaviors just follow. And I just love this metaphor. It explains it so well. Every single time you perform a habit, you are casting a vote for the person you want to be. You go for a run, even a short one. That's a vote for, I am a runner. Now, one little vote won't change the election overnight, but as you keep casting those votes day after day, your self-image literally begins to change until that new identity is locked in. Okay, so we've got the why. It's all about systems and identity. But what about the how? How do we actually do this stuff? Well, this is where Clear gives us a beautifully simple, practical blueprint. The 4 laws of behavior change. But first, you have to understand the basic mechanics of a habit. It's a simple 4-step loop that your brain runs on autopilot for, well, everything. There's a cue that triggers a craving, which motivates a response, which then provides a reward. The 4 laws are basically hacks for each stage of this loop. Law number 1 is make it obvious. This one targets the cue. And listen, this isn't about having more willpower. It's about designing your environment so the good habits are the easiest choice. You want to read more? Don't hide the book on a shelf. Put it on your pillow. A really powerful technique here is habit stacking, where you attach a new habit to an old one. Like, after I brush my teeth, I will stretch for 1 minute. Next up, Law 2, make it attractive. This targets the craving. Our brains are wired to chase dopamine, to repeat things that feel good. So you can use a strategy called temptation bundling. You just pair an action you want to do with an action you need to do. For example, I will only watch my favorite Netflix show while I'm on the treadmill. Law number 3 targets the response. Make it easy. Let's be honest, we're programmed to follow the path of least resistance. So if you want to build a habit, you have to lower the friction. The best way to do this is with the 2-minute rule. You scale down any new habit so that it takes less than 2 minutes to do. Go to the gym becomes put on my workout clothes. The point is to master the art of just showing up. And finally, the fourth law targets the reward. Make it satisfying. This is so important. For a habit to stick, it has to feel successful. The problem is, a lot of good habits have a delayed return. So you have to create an immediate reward. A super simple way is just tracking your habit, putting a big X on a calendar. It feels good. And that helps you build a streak, which brings us to the key rule for when you mess up. Never miss twice. 1 day is an accident. 2 days is the start of a new bad habit. So let's put this all together into a real example. Let's say you want to start running. To make it obvious, you put your running shoes right by the front door. To make it attractive, you only let yourself listen to your favorite podcast while you run. To make it easy, you start by running for just 2 minutes. And to make it satisfying, you track your streak on a calendar. Boom, simple, elegant, and it actually works. And what's so brilliant about this is that the entire framework just works perfectly in reverse for breaking bad habits. You just invert the 4 laws. You want to stop eating junk food? Make it invisible. Hide it. Make it unattractive. Think about how it makes you feel. Make it difficult. Just don't buy it in the first place. And make it unsatisfying. Maybe tell a friend you're quitting so you have some accountability. So building a habit is one thing. But, what about staying motivated for the long haul? How do you keep going when progress feels slow and you just lose steam? Well, yeah, Clear has a rule for that too. He calls it the Goldilocks rule. Basically, we are most motivated when we're working on a task that's right on the edge of our abilities. If it's too easy, we get bored. If it's too hard, we get discouraged. The comedian Steve Martin, for example, apparently spent 15 years mastering his craft, not by trying to reinvent his whole act, but by refining it just a minute or two each year. He was always working right on that edge. That's how you stay in the game. And all of these ideas lead us to the mathematical heart of atomic habits. This is the truly mind-blowing part that shows the unbelievable power behind these tiny 1% improvements. Here's the core idea. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Think about that. Just like money multiplies with compound interest, the effects of your habits multiply as you repeat them. On any given day, the change is so small you can barely notice it. But over months and years, the results are extraordinary. Now, check out the math on this. If you get just 1% better at something each day for a year, just 1%, you'll end up nearly 38 times better by the time you're done. That is the explosive, nonlinear power of compounding. It's just incredible. And this chart really just drives the whole point home. Look at the massive gap between getting 1% better versus 1% worse. It's not a small difference, it's a canyon. Your small habits don't just add up, they compound. And this is the key takeaway. Time will magnify whatever you consistently feed it, for better or for worse. Which really leaves us with just one final powerful question. Success isn't about some massive, heroic transformation. It's the slow, steady product of our daily habits. So let me ask you, what is one tiny, atomic action you can take today to cast a vote for the person you want to become?